Good evening, brothers. Good to see you all here tonight. I'm humbled and honored to have an opportunity to be a candidate for this award. Let me give you a little background on myself. My name is Brother Charles B. Allen Sr. I'm a 29-year, 9-month uninterrupted brother. I've been working ever since my inception into this great fraternity, spring of 1992 at LaGrange College Pi Tau chapter, where I served as president and vice president and some other things there. I went on to join Theta Nu Lambda chapter, where I've been an active member ever since. I live by a personal motto of Ubuntu. Ubuntu simply means I am because you are. And I truly mean that. I am who I am in Alpha because of Alpha. Alpha has given me an opportunity on many leadership opportunities. They've given me an opportunity to not only be a leader, but to be a mentor. So let's talk about some of my contributions in the community. I currently serve as the lay leader at Columbia Drive United Methodist Church, where I am the liaison between the pastor and the congregation. I serve on every committee, from finance to youth. I influence the decisions by the pastor and by the congregation. And it gives me an opportunity to have various speaking engagements, as you see here, where I've spoken a number of times at the church. Most recently, I've spoken, I think 2 weeks ago. I've also served in the LaGrange community when I lived there. I've lived here in DeKalb County for about 3 years now. Prior to that, I lived in LaGrange and I served in these various capacities as lay leader, the youth leader, the finance chair. I also served on the Sunday school committee. I am currently the president of the West Georgia Federal Education Foundation. It was born out of Theta Nu Lambda chapter. We born it 5 years ago, at which time we had a gala, and at that gala, we barely broke even. To date, we currently have $15,000 in the bank. We've annually raised from year 3 until the current year, we've raised somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 in our gala. Mind you, our chapter is 23 brothers, so it's a small chapter, but I push them to move on to do great things. We've given scholarships in the 5-year period, we've given 20 scholarships out of $1,500 a piece, a computer, and a suit voucher to each one of those candidates. This foundation has also supplied coats and PPEs to local schools. Those are just some of the things that we've done as a foundation under my leadership. Excuse me, brothers. I've participated and also led the Feed the Hungry campaign in LaGrange, Georgia for a number of years. And one of my greatest joys is leading my middle school basketball team to a 35-3 record over a 3-year period. I went on and I've coached high school basketball, I've coached AAU basketball, and I've assisted over 100 players in gaining college opportunities, be it scholarships or just getting in college in general. And these are just other pictures of some of the young people that I've influenced doing basketball. I currently serve as a board member for the Alpha Multipurpose Center, and I am the secretary for my
1 minute left, brother Al.
Okay, for my community's HOA. I participated in the Black Voters Matter. Here you can see some of my accomplishments serving the state of Georgia. One of my greatest accomplishments is being a chief dean. I was the inaugural chief dean in the West. I'm currently the chief dean in the North, and I brought in approximately 700 new brothers in a 7-year span. I've sent over between 35 and 40 youth to the LDECI. I've taken 70 scholars to Alpha Day at the Capitol. through my mentorship, I've taken young people to the Mercedes-Benz, and I'm out of time. Thank you, brothers, for your time. These are some of my other accomplishments, and I appreciate you.
All right, questions?
Brother Allen,
sir.
what's the highest position? I know you mentioned Chief Dean in terms of district, but on other levels, such as your chapter, regional, and national.
For my chapter, I've been president. I was president 2 times, and here's one of my presidential awards right here. This is the last year that I served, which was 2014. I've served on the district level. I've served as time and place chair. I've served as the district webmaster. I'm currently serving as the advisor to the district director. On the regional level, I've served, and I'm serving now on the regional technology team.
Yes.
Questions, brother?
Yes, Brother Allen, I do have a question. See, you done a lot with the youth. What did that stem from? Was this something that that you noticed that the youth needed, and that when you started from with the youth? So what brought that on? I guess the interest of working with the youth. Where did that come from?
Just from influences over my lifespan. Being a youth myself, I had some great mentors who were alpha men. It seemed natural for me to step in those shoes. I've actually coached basketball and been doing mentoring since the age of 25. So that's about 31 years. And I really enjoy it. It's one of my greatest joys. I try to bring that mentorship into IMDP as well, because in most cases, a lot of those young men are younger than I am. And I feel like I can step in that mentor role with them as well.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Brother Allen, this is Brother Greg Sims. I'm at 30, you will be 30 soon in your alpha life. What's one of your signature achievements, and you've got 15 seconds? What's the most significant, if you can name one?
IMDP, being a chief dean, I think that's one of my signature moments. I love it. I love developing, and I love seeing the outcome.
Outstanding.
Thank you, brother.
All right, brother. We appreciate you, Brother Allen, and we thank you for your presentation. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brother Allen.
Thank you.
Okay. Is he in?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right, Brother Allen, you have the floor. Again, this award is the Charles Green Award, and we just like to you would emphasize on the 7 years of commitment to Alpha. Brother Greg Sims, are you there for the timekeeper, or you need somebody else to do that right
No,
now?
I am. For whatever reason, I forgot to take myself off of mute. But yeah, we'll do the 5 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll let you know when you have 1 minute remaining, and then after that, we'll have a 2 minute worth of questions from the committee. Brother Allen, your 5 minutes starts now.
Okay. I'm gonna, again, my name is Brother Charles Allen. 29-year, 9-month member of Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated, life member. I'm gonna start from where I left off on the last award, if that's okay, since you guys are the same judges.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I want to start off with Black Voters Matters, which is the Get Out the Vote campaign. I served as chair on that. And as we all know, that election, last year's election was, or the last election was very important to us, not only as a people, but it was important to us as a nation. I really enjoyed getting out, holding signs, influencing people to go out and vote, and also to register to vote as well. I plan to do the same for the upcoming election. So here are those accomplishments that I didn't get a chance to speak on the last time. These are the various things I've served on. I've been a judge for the Southern region.
Excuse me a second, Brother Allen. I'm the only, am I the only one? I can't see your screen.
Okay.
I don't know if
Hold
you're
on.
sharing it.
You're not the only one, Brother Sims. I can't see it either.
Okay, hold on.
I paused the time, so.
My apologies, brothers. Is that
All
better?
right. Yes, and
Okay.
you can resume starting now. You've got 4 minutes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So as you can see, I've served as a judge for the Southern Regional Awards Committee. I've been the Georgia District Timekeeper, Time and Place Chair, past Georgia District Webmaster, currently serving with Brother Riddick on the technology team now, on the Southern Region technology team, advisor to the district director. I've been the timekeeper for the Georgia District Oratorical, and I've been president, parliamentarian, webmaster, and some other positions for my local chapter. We've already discussed my IMDP exploits. I'm very proud of the 700 brothers that I've helped bring into the fraternity. I think most of them will do a great job, those that will stay active. But of course, as we all know, we can't guarantee 100%, but I really feel like if we can influence one or two to stay in the fold, we'll be a better organization. These are just some of the kids that I financially assisted going to the LDECI over a 7-year period. There's 35 to 40 of them that we've sent. These are some of the 70 kids that have participated in Alpha Day at the Capitol. They had a great experience. I really enjoyed taking them. They had lots of questions and they learned a lot while going to participate. Here are some of the kids that I've mentored at a previous school I was at that I've taken to Honeywell's headquarters, as well as Mercedes-Benz for STEM Day. They got to learn how the Mercedes-Benz stadium worked. They also got to see a lot of things that Honeywell was presenting. These are some of the awards that I've gotten over the years. Last year, of course, Brother Riddick, myself, and Brother Jackson, we received the District Director's Award of Service, and we're very proud of that. We're doing the same things this year. We're just trying to provide the best technology that we can for our district. This is our service award that I got at the previous school I was at, Data Academy, the DeKalb Academy of Technology and Environment. As you can see here, we established a STEM bus. On that STEM bus was about $200,000 worth of technology. We took the bus out to pre-K students, and those students got a chance and an opportunity to use the technology on the bus and get them familiarized with our school. So I'm very proud of that. These are some awards that I've won recently. Of course, I was named the Charles Green Award winner, as well as the Brother of the Year for Theta Nu Lambda chapter. I have the Mayor and Council presented me with this award for serving on the Board of Planning and Zoning. And I don't have it on here, but I also have an award for serving on the LaGrange Industrial Authority. 1 minute, I got you. And finally, this is a President Award from my last service as president with Theta Nu Lambda, which ended in 2014. So again, brothers, I really thank you for your time, and I'm very humbled to be in the running for this award.
All right, you got 38 seconds. Is there anything else you want to let the committee know? Otherwise, we can go right into question and answer.
I hope I receive positive votes from you all so that I can accomplish the goal of winning this award. I'd really be humbled to do so.
All right, thank you, Brother Allen. There's now 2 minutes for questions and answers from the committee. Go ahead, brothers.
Alan, this is Brother Trent Taylor. How are you?
Hey, Brother Trent, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I commend you on your service over the last 7 years. Of that time, obviously longer, what would you identify as one of the biggest challenges, and how did you overcome that challenge through your community service?
The biggest challenge is just getting people involved. People talk a good talk, but they don't always show up when they need to show up. We can take that to the chapter level. You may have 100 brothers in your chapter, but only 10 or 15 of those brothers will actually do the work. So I make sure I continue to put myself on the front line and be a leader by example, as opposed to a leader by just dictating or by words.
Okay, thank you.
This is Brother Fouché speaking.
Hey, Brother Fouché.
Have you had the opportunity to be a Dean of Pledges to any of the initiates that you previously coached before, any of your basketball teams?
A couple I have. Well, I wasn't their Dean of Pledge. I was more like their recommender at the time.
Okay.
before, of course, the process changed where I can't be there recommending now because I'm not in their chapter, but yes, I have. It was a great honor for me. As a matter of fact, my son was one of those. It was a great joy for me to write his letter of recommendation at Zeta Pi. I think it was about 12 years ago when he came into the organization.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, Brother Allen, Brother Thornton here. How you doing?
Hey, Brother Thornton.
Got a question for you. Doing the voter registration drives, have you ever experienced like any pushback from somebody who did not want to vote, where you had to convince them how, the importance of voting?
Oh, of course. Still to this
Finish
date,
your
we
question,
have
bro.
people.
Finish your statement.
Still to this day, we have people who assume that if I sign up to vote, that means I'm going to have to serve on a jury, and I don't want to do that because I got to miss time from my job. So we spend a lot of time explaining to them, hey, this is not about you serving on a jury. It's about voting and helping your community, that especially locally, you need to vote locally more so than president, because your local elections mean way more than the president of the United States. So yes, I've had that pushback and tried to work through it.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Brother Allen.
Thank you.
Good evening, brothers. Glad to see everyone. And really excited to be able to be here to talk about what Ada Lambda's done over this past year. I'll tell you, brothers, you guys know I always have a sense of pride in what Alpha and what Ada Lambda does, but particularly in this extremely challenging year that we've all been in. And one of the biggest focuses that we've been able to do is figure out is how do we recreate the experience of if we were in person, right? How do we make sure that we're able to keep all of our brothers safe while also making sure that we maintain the level of expectancy that the brotherhood expects for us, but also that the Metro Atlanta community expects from us. So I'll tell you, brothers, as I go down this presentation, I'm not going to bore you by specifically reading off things, but I do want to talk to you all about a couple of specific things that we've done. And I'll tell you, just like most people, and just like most of the chapters that have experienced a change and a shift in the trajectory during COVID-19, we had that also. We had a chapter that was usually boasting a large number of participants on in-person and an in-person session, and we had to swiftly figure out ways to adjust that while not losing the experience of being at an in-person chapter meeting. And we were able to do that. We were able to do that quickly, obviously, just like we're doing right here and doing a Zoom platform. But I'll tell you why I start off with that, because one of the most exciting things that we were able to do this year is really create the camaraderie of our chapter. As most of you guys know, Ada Lambda is a very large chapter, and we don't often get the chance to have one-on-one conversations with brothers. And we were able to start doing that by creating our breakout rooms and our small groups at the end of our session. So at every chapter meeting and every board meeting, at the end of it, we break off into small groups of about 4 or 5 brothers to just have that opportunity to converse and have conversations about what's been shared at the chapter meeting or what football game is coming on this evening. And what that has done for us is that's driven opportunities for us to learn about more of the need in the Atlanta community. We've got a lot of people that are heavily involved. And so through those conversations, we were truly able to figure out what the need for Atlanta is. And one of the big things that our brothers told us is that we need to know COVID. We need to know what's going on. And so what we did is we looked at our membership, and we looked at the brothers who work at the National Institute of Health, brothers who work at the CDC, obviously CDC here in Atlanta. And we pulled together a group of epidemiologists to talk about the public health epidemic and pandemic that we were having in our country, and said, what can we do and what can we put out there to make sure that our brothers are safe? And so we started weekly sending out a message that said, this is what the brothers need to know specifically, but also a community message that said, this is what's going on in Atlanta and in Fulton County, because we wanted to make sure that we had everyone aware of the trends and the trajectory, as well as the push for getting vaccinated. So that was one of the very first things that we did after shifting that. And then you guys know the other big piece that we had to talk about was voting, right? And this was a specific one for us because not only was this an enormous election in the country, in the state of Georgia, but this was an enormous election for Ada Lambda, since we had a brother that was running to become the first African-American senator from the state of Georgia, and brother Reverend Raphael Warnock. And really excited to be able to have him amongst our membership. But more importantly than that, we're really excited to be able to say what we did to help get brother Warnock and to make sure that Georgia did what it needed to do. And one of the most unique things that we were able to do to drive that voter turnout was we went to all of our schools that are already currently partners, and we said, tell us everyone, especially your seniors that are going to turn 18 this year. And we threw a virtual birthday party for them. We had gifts for them. They knew they were going off to college, so we provided them with some technology items, but mainly AirPods. So on this birthday party, if they were in a group or in a house setting where they had more than 1 or 2 people and there was a loud environment, they could be able to hear us. But at that 18th birthday party, what we were able to do is get every person who was turning 18 by the time they were able to vote, or by the time the election day happened, we were able to get them registered and make sure that they were.
Left, Brother Hudson.
You said 1 minute, brother?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So we were able to do that, and then we also got creative in other ways that we were able to get brothers to come out and vote, and to get the community to come out and vote. And other things that we did that we were really excited about is we looked at our schools, and we know that individuals that are not in school are often malnourished or they're underfed. And we went to those schools and those communities, and we said, tell us what we can do to make sure that the kids that are not in school, that they're eating. And so we made sure that we went out to those schools, and we made sure that we held drives to make sure that the kids could eat and that there was food on the table. And we continued to fundraise, brothers. We made sure that we continuously provided that annual $15,000, collected $15,000 so that we could provide scholarships. And we've now got our seniors who went through our Project Excel program, who acclimated over $1.6 million in scholarship, and Ada Lambda was able to contribute to that. So really excited about being able to contribute to the education fund, still contributing to society as a whole, and making sure that the brotherhood and the Atlanta community remain safe during this COVID epidemic and pandemic.
All right, thank you, Brother Hudson. The time is up. It's now 2 minutes for members of the committee to ask any questions. Brothers, you can start now.
All right, Brother Hudson, tell us about the mentoring program and the impact you're having on the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Project Excel mentoring program is our longest running program. We now have that with 2 schools. We initially started it off with Washington High School, and we now have that with Brown Middle School. Both of them have different impacts. Obviously, if you guys think about the prison pipeline that Alpha's talked about a long time, we wanted to make sure that we started a little bit younger with those Brown Middle School individuals. So we were meeting with them weekly, and we're also meeting with them via Zoom, obviously trying to keep them safe, but to make sure that they were able to have the technology, that they were there. So making sure that if they were in a space or in a zone that they did not have Wi-Fi, we made sure that they had everything that they needed to be successful in school. Our kids were challenged, right? Our kids were challenged just like so many other people that were just worn out and that were just completely depleted from being able to be on Zoom all day. So we tried to find out resources that were there. And I'll tell you one of the biggest things that I'm really excited about, our Washington High School students, when we had a focus on mental health. I don't think enough gets talked about when it comes to seniors and juniors and preparing for college, but doing it like this, right? And so we really had a focus on how do we make sure that these kids have a strong mental health and they have the resources to be successful beyond just the academic successes, but they do have strong mental health resources. So we're really excited to mentor both Brown Middle School and Washington High School.
All right, next question.
It's Brother Hudson, Brother Thornton here. Question for you. With you guys being a large chapter, how do you guys deal with pushback from the brother within a chapter? How do you guys make things work when you do hit them bumps with brothers that disagree with something? How do y'all, I guess, conflict resolution within the chapter?
Yeah, Brother Thornton, really good question. And I'll tell you, so I'm the vice president of Ada Lambda, and I'll tell you, though our chapter is very large, it feels very small, right? All of the brothers talk to us individually. Those breakout rooms, though, the president and I made sure that we bounced around to those breakout rooms to talk to individuals, to just have candid conversations. And I'll tell you, when you get a group of 2 to 3 brothers by themselves, as opposed to a room of 100 brothers, you can have more candid conversations. Our focus all year has been brotherhood first. So that's been our #1 priority, was making sure that if there were challenges or concerns, or if our brothers just quite frankly needed something, that we were able to address that. So those breakout rooms and really just being candid, being natural, and finding ways to connect with our brothers was our top priority this year. And I'm sorry if you guys hear me, brother. I'm on daddy duty right now. My son is starting to cry. So
now you good. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Hudson.
That's time, Brother Miller.
All right, Brother Hudson, thank you so much. Excellent presentation.
Brothers, really very happy to appear before you. I'm Art Fleming, Spring 1978 initiative of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity at Florida State University. I'm presently the president of the Omicron Nu Lambda chapter in Cobb County, Georgia. Brothers, you have our submission for the chapter of the year. I'd like to provide you some highlights if I can. Feel free to ask me any questions you like. Thank you again, brothers. What I have before me is a professionally published document that essentially outlines the last 2 years of the story of the Cobb County chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And we're extraordinarily pleased we got this document in place because almost 3 years ago, brothers, this chapter was on sanction because of our prior administration. But our story is quite compelling. Over the last 2.5 to 3 years or so, our membership has increased by over 60%. 2 years ago, we were at 54 brothers. Now we're at 104 brothers in Cobb County, all through our organic reclamation effort. We've also increased our community partners. We have a K through 6th grade international academy for Smyrna. We have relationships with high schools in Cobb County. We've added a major community sponsor with the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Atlanta. And we've also been really very forward-thinking in terms of the way in which we've generated revenues. We now have over $100,000 in the bank. That's a significant increase of about 50% over the last 2 years or so. We have $67,000 in the bank in our foundation. And part of that is because we're better able to tell the story through our publication, our biannual report. And we've been telling that story to major corporations, such as the Lowe's Corporation, which has been a supporter. Walmart has been a supporter, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Atlanta. I'm a senior vice president at the Federal Home Loan Bank of Atlanta. And I've made sure that my corporation has been a supporter of Alpha Phi Alpha, but Cobb County's Alphas in particular, and the public charities. We've also received a $5,000 grant from the National Football League to support our local initiatives and the awarding of scholarships through our foundation. All of that in the last 2 years, and specifically over the last year or so, which is the focus of your review, we've added about $35,000 in restricted fundings to support our community efforts. All of that has resulted in our being able, and if you can stay on that slide for a second, our being able to develop and deliver significant community impact. On this slide, you'll see where we developed an economic empowerment series. We've had 3 series over the last year or so, one having to do with criminal justice, another having to do with Black men in medicine, another having to do with financial literacy. Collectively, those webinars had over 654 views, obviously in a COVID environment, and we joined in with other community partners like the local AKAs and other organizations as well to administer that. Brothers, we've also been able to essentially put under one umbrella, and if you can continue to scroll, Brother Riddick, I certainly appreciate it. We've been able to also leverage, the medical doctors that we have in our chapter. We have 3 medical doctors. We've leveraged them to the maximum extent possible, and that we've provided health and well-being webinars out to the community as well. If you can continue to scroll. Continue to scroll, brother. Thank you. Our Henry Arthur Callis Foundation, as I said before, I think that really the best way in which to build your foundation is, as I've said before, is by better telling your story, essentially issuing, annual reports to the community, but then effectively deploying these.
1 minute left, Brother Fleming.
Effectively deploying these annual reports to significant donors. And as I said before, not only are we collecting the funds, but we're delivering the funds to the community as well. One of the ways in which we're delivering the funds is through scholarships. We gave out $10,000 in scholarships last year, but also we just recently entered into a unique partnership with the Work Done charities. You guys may remember Work Done, the running back. He's also a Florida State graduate. I've known him since his days at Florida State. We entered into a partnership where we're paying the Work Done charities, fundings, $12,000 over the next 3 years or so to deliver services in Cobb County. But in exchange for that, what he's doing is providing his likeness and his appearance and his support at our activities. Those sort of innovative, sort of partnerships is the hallmark of what we're doing here in Cobb County. Continue. We just recently had a golf tournament. You have to raise the money in order to deliver great services. We just recently had a golf tournament that raised $14,000. And also part of our local, development of corporate, partners is to create relationships with locally owned Black restaurants as well. And we've done that. That's the Work Done Charities Partnership.
All right.
As I sort of
That's
head
time,
into
Brother
the
Flynn.
close here. Thank you,
All right.
brother.
Is that his time?
That's his time, and there's
All
now
right.
2 minutes for any follow-up by the committee.
All right,
Starting now.
I'll use the first question. Brother Fleming, finish your thought that you were doing. for
Yeah,
my
one
first
of the
question.
things that, you have to do is make sure that you share your story. Again, we've issued, if you look at the very end of our presentation, we've issued 4 press releases on our activities this year, and they've received coverage out in the media. At the very end, you'll see right. So that's the press release for our College Life to Corporate Life, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Atlanta, the National Minority Mortgage Association joined with Alpha Phi Alpha, and we conducted our College Life to Corporate Life. You also see a press release for the Work Done initiative that we are involved with as well. We have completed every single national initiative of Alpha Phi Alpha. We have our own local initiatives, and we are committed to the youth in our community, and we have metrics to demonstrate that as well.
All right.
5 minutes is not really enough time for me to share everything that we've done over the last year and a half or so, but I appreciate the time that you've given me, brothers.
Yes, sir. Other questions, judges?
Yeah, yes. Outstanding presentation. One question I had is, during the time when you reactivated the unit, the chapter and got it back legal and everything, did you have any gap in your legal identity of the chapter as far as the business formation of it?
Did we have any doubt in terms of the legal formation of the chapter? No, we had no doubt at all.
No,
The terms of the,
Any gap? The foundation, did you have any gap in the?
so the prior president, was at the heart of our sanctions. I was able to take over the presidency about 2.5 years ago. And I had a really very good idea of what we had here in the chapter, the tremendous group of brothers that we've had. But also I understood, quite frankly, that what we needed to do was have a total change in our philosophy in terms of our committee structure. So we have a revenue development committee. We have a brotherhood committee. We are focused on 4 basic pillars: brotherhood, community impact, innovation, and financial resources. And we built leadership around those areas. We've established metrics for brothers to deliver around those areas. We hold brothers accountable at every meeting for delivering on those areas. And we try to have fun with each other while we're doing it.
All right.
That's the
Is that
time,
it?
Brother Miller.
All right. Brother Fleming, thank you. Excellent presentation.
Greetings, brothers. I am Brother Dr. Avery Kinley, and I'm honored to speak with you regarding my 21 years of uninterrupted fraternal service locally, regionally, and nationally. On the district level, I serve as the Georgia District Project Alpha Chair. Regionally, I am on the Life Membership Committee, and nationally, I serve on the Project Alpha Committee. Lastly, I've served as a delegate on every level, having attended 25 conventions. But more than just attending conventions, I've been active. As an example, during our last general convention in Indianapolis, I served as a chapter delegate, manned the fraternity's March of Dimes table, personally developed the online process for certifying delegates while physically certifying delegates on site for 4 days straight, and served as a panelist for the convention's Project Alpha Forum. I had a busy convention, to say the least. Within the Eta Lambda chapter, I've held over 15 different offices, and this fraternal year, I am serving as the Director of Education, Director of Fundraising, Scholarship Chair, Social Media Chair, and serve as a member of 5 other committees. As the Director of Education, within the last 2 months, I've initiated a chapter book club, developed a database of over 300 scholarships for seniors, and facilitated a workshop on applying to college for over 200 seniors. As the scholarship chair, I personally raised over $15,000 for scholarships and facilitated the awarding of $10,000 in scholarships this past May. I am actively involved in all of our national programs and serve as a committee member on each. This past year, I planned and moderated a Project Alpha seminar with our college brothers from Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, and Georgia State, focused on personal responsibility. Having experienced infant mortality, I'm a staunch supporter of March of Dimes and proud to have served as my chapter's largest fundraiser for the past 4 years. Every Friday, I mentor students in our Go to High School, Go to College program, and our graduating mentees over the past 2 years have amassed over $5 million in scholarships. With the Voteless People as a Hopeless People, I personally organized and facilitated 3 in-person voter registration drives, 2 virtual voter registration drives, and coordinated a virtual voter engagement week, registering 1,235 citizens. I also became a certified poll worker in Fulton County. With Brothers Keeper, I organized the birthday celebrations for 3 brothers turning 80, 94, and 100 respectively. Now, within a chapter that is 101 years old with over 270 members, I was humbled that for the first time ever, I was named the back-to-back-to-back, yes, 3-time Brother of the Year. And simultaneously this year was voted as the chapter's Charles W. Green Award of Merit recipient. Beyond the numerous awards, I am most proud of helping my brothers in their own progression. I was happy to support my college brothers at Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, and Georgia State, where we collectively held a voter registration forum that I moderated. I also donated to Alpha Rose Gift of Giza toy drive, donated to Alpha Phi's Hands In for Haiti, assisted Zeta Mu with the AUC sandwich run, and supported brothers as they transition from college to career, even helping 4 recent graduates secure employment. Helping my alumni brothers, I created the first Alpha Educators Day, supported the campaign for brothers running for office, and patronized brothers' businesses. Finally, I was most pleased to work with 2 recently graduated Alpha Rho brothers, organizing a virtual tech day where we exposed over 3,000 students across the country to some of the world's leading technology companies. Additionally, I serve as the Director of Student Recruitment of the organization, and this summer we started a scholarship program for 29 students who each received $20,000 in scholarships. As it's vital to be well balanced, personally I've been married for 17 years and I'm a proud girl dad of a graduating senior that maintains a 4.16 GPA. I've accumulated over 400 community service hours and hold membership in more than 25 professional and civic organizations. Since our last convention, I've accumulated more than 400 community service hours, served as my chapter's highest fundraiser for March of Dimes, became a certified poll worker, registered more than 1,000 citizens, helped establish a scholarship program serving 29 college students yielding $580,000 in scholarships, exposed more than 3,000 students to careers in the tech field, delivered more than 1,500 meals during the pandemic, and was named the back-to-back-to-back Eta Lambda Chapter Brother of the Year. And as you can see, as I took you on this tour of Atlanta and some of the historical landmarks, Alpha permeates all of Atlanta. And with that, brothers, I thank you for the opportunity to present myself as I remain a brother of those within and a most humble servant of the laws they make. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kinley. You got about 25 seconds if you want to add anything else.
Brothers, I just really appreciate the opportunity and the flexibility that this committee has had. I know you have an august job of deciding the Brother of the Year for this wonderful state, and I'm very appreciative of the service that you all are giving.
All right, brothers, that's the time. There's 2 minutes from the committee, and that 2 minutes starts now for any brother that want to jump in.
Brother Kenley.
Yes, Brother Han.
I just want to say thank you for your service and what you're doing. One thing that caught my eye was that you said that since that you registered 1,000 voters, am I correct? Your virtual voting program?
Yes.
Let me ask this. With the recent laws being passed by the state, how is that affecting, do you think that will affect this, what you could do in years to come?
Well, one thing that I do is I go to where the people are. And I focus a lot on seniors. I serve as the coordinating supervisor for professional learning of Clayton County Public Schools. And so I oversee over 7,000 employees in that particular school district. But with that, I reach directly to the students. I'm also a member of the Go Team for Washington High School, which is an Atlanta public school, and very invested in all of the Atlanta public schools. So I make sure to reach out directly to those senior students. I also have reached out and with the Atlanta University Center, I have held voter registration drives during their Olive Branch, which is like the very first program, one of the first programs that all the Atlanta University schools have. So I really try to focus on reaching the youth primarily because those are the individuals that you can reach and not registered. So I don't think the laws will impact my particular way of reaching out and registering voters.
Okay.
Additionally, I'm sorry.
No,
I
continue.
also register individuals that are new to my school district. So we host our new teacher orientation, and so I make sure that during our new teacher orientation, I'm the very first person they see, and I'm registering voters there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's time,
Yes.
Brother Miller.
All right, Brother Avery, thank you so much for an excellent presentation.
Okay. Greetings, brothers. I'm honored to be here tonight, and I'll go as quick as I can through my presentation. I'm the immediate past president of the Delta Lambda chapter for 5 years. I was appointed the advisor to the Theta Beta chapter at Columbus State University, which I'm thrilled to actually be participating in. That is my bio and resume. My contributions to Alpha are numerous. I'm a life member of the fraternity. I served as the president of the chapter for 5 years. I was appointed last year to the advisor of the Theta Beta chapter, appointed recently to a committee that's going to be coming up to look at PWIs, chapters on PWIs as well. And I'm currently serving on the National Dual Heritage Project Committee as well. And also served under several administrations as the co-chair of the National Black and Gold pageant. My contributions to the community, I'm currently serving on the Columbus, Georgia Charter Review Commission, which is reviewing the charter of our city, and that's done every 10 years, and that's an appointment by the mayor of Columbus. I was recently serving as the president of the National Pan-Hellenic Council here in Columbus as well. With the achievements for the fraternity, last year, having been appointed advisor to the Theta Beta chapter, I won the award of Advisor of the Year at Columbus State University for all the Greek and sorority chapters at Columbus State University. I was a 2018 Charles Green Award winner as well. As I said, I am a life member. Again, I'm very, very thrilled about the appointment of advisor to Theta Beta. During COVID last year, there were no brothers on campus. So I was able to bring 9 brothers across last year and got those guys started going gangbusters. Within the first week of them crossing, the next week was the debate and oratorical competition. And I pushed those guys to actually compete. They really didn't want to do it, but they did it. And the debate team actually won the debate for the district competition. And the gentleman that actually participated in oratorical actually won an award during the district competition as well. Again, Theta Beta doing great things still. The gentleman on the right, Stevan Lester, won for the president of all of the organizations on the campus. And the gentleman in the middle won for the new member of the year for all fraternities and sororities. And as I said, I won the award for advisor of the year. Again, celebrating these guys, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to graduate, so we celebrate with them as well. Again, it's important that we bring guys, that we bring new guys in. We just crossed 3 guys last weekend into Theta Beta because we have to kind of renew the chapter. We celebrate with these guys whenever we can with Theta Beta, take them out to lunch, do some things with them at the chapter, with the Delta Lambda chapter. Again, reclaiming brothers is very critical. When I was president, we actually won the Reclamation Award for the district. I'm an artist. I actually created a crest that actually was able to present to Senator Warnock recently as well. COVID is really tough on all of us. So we did something which we thought was kind of unique. We had a COVID night in where brothers got a chance to get on a Zoom call and just to kind of talk to brothers that they have not been able to see for a long time. Right Readers is an initiative that our foundation did. I designed the logo for this, where at an elementary school, the kids that did great things were able to be a part of this Right Readers group, and they were actually able to get a book as part of that. This was an internal or chapter newsletter that I started as well. Again, it's critical that we honor and recognize our medical brothers. So this was a initiative that we did where we actually put things out on social media. I've been a delegate.
Brother Roberts.
Okay, thank you. I've been a delegate for regional and national conventions, as again serving as co-chair of the National Miss Black and Gold pageant. We did our virtual Unity Award breakfast, which we had to pivot. I actually produced an event that we actually were able to do virtually as well. One of the 65 most influential men in Columbus by the Echo Latino magazine. I'm also a member of the 100 here in Columbus as well. I'm a deacon at my church. When I was National Panhellenic Council president, this was actually recognized by President Ward when he was actually president of the national NPHC. We did this All About Fraternities and Sororities actually did an incredible Sick and Tired event where we actually honored George Floyd. I'm a registrar here in Columbus, did several virtual events as well, and Charles Award winner and Display Award winner. Thank you, brother.
Thought, Brother Oz.
That's the time, Brother Miller. There's 2 minutes from the brothers. If brothers have follow-up questions for Brother Roberts, great presentation, Brother Roberts.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very quick.
I'll use my first question as, go ahead and finish your statement, Brother Oz.
Yes, sir. I was just going to say that, again, I was a Charles Green Award winner, and also we won for the district display. And those are things that I physically did myself, along with a couple of other brothers as well. So there you go, brothers. I'm here for questions. Thank you. I know that was speed.
Brother Roberts.
Yes, sir.
I noticed you were talking a lot in detail about how you help bring the brothers at Theta Beta in and working with them. How are you working in terms of making sure those brothers in Theta Beta who stay in the area become members into Delta Iota Lambda?
Well, we actually just recently, two brothers that just graduated out, Brother William Gray and Brother Wilburn. Brother Wilburn actually moved up to, I think, Jonesboro. So he is not part of our chapter. I think he's going to be part of Theta Nu Lambda's chapter. But Brother Gray is part of our chapter. And again, the exciting thing that we did with Theta Beta was getting them involved right away. We did voter registration drives with them. We did feeding the homeless events with them. Again, we met with them several times, just socially as well. But it's just being able to get them to know who we are, that we're not menacing people, that we care about them. And that's really the critical thing that I'm trying to get across and stress to those guys. But we do as much as we can with them. I go up to the campus whenever I can, when they have things up there. I'm ever present with them on the phone, anything that we can do. Okay, brothers, anything else?
Use the rest of the time however you want to use it, Brother Oz.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So again, I will just kind of finish this real quickly. Again, really, really blessed and honored that we received the Reclamation Award. This is our 70th anniversary. We do some things with them. We did some things with Jack and Jill as a chapter. This is one thing that we really did here, which was really kind of neat, was we had a Christmas parade. Not only did we throw out candy, we actually threw out these voter registration cards in Phoenix City, Alabama, and in Georgia, so that people can actually have those cards and have those QR codes to actually go and register to vote. That's really critical. We did
finish your thought, brother.
Okay, and this is our last thing here. We started a wreaths across Omega, and where we honor the last person that went into Omega chapter from the Delta Lambda chapter with their families at their gravesite, when we actually go out and honor and recognize them.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Thank you, brothers.
Thank you, Brother Oz. We appreciate you.
Brothers, I am Manuel Solomon, Spring 2019 initiate of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated through the Sigma Theta Lambda chapter seated in Walton County, Georgia. Today, I am competing for this year's title of Georgia's District Brother of the Year. I could use the next 4 minutes speaking about my upbringing, being raised and educated in a small town of Cleveland, Mississippi, and how that school system failed me as a Black male. But instead, I prefer to focus on how that failure transformed me into the alpha man you see standing before you today as Sigma Eta Lambda's elected Brother of the Year. It's also because of that failure, I became intrigued with social justice, activism, and the uplift of my fellow men. Social justice is defined as the distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privileges within society. For the past 14 years, I have volunteered my time and talents with an organization named Everyone Wins. Everyone Wins created a partnership with the local school systems to help enhance elementary school students with their reading deficiencies. Most mentors are assigned a different student or a school each year, but I personally request a school with the lowest scores that no other volunteer wants, because I understand the failures of the local school system. During my tenure, I have mentored a student who did not even know what a Bible was. He later became the most improved student of the year. I also mentored a student with word comprehension challenges. He later went on to compete at a state level spelling bee. What I understand most about accomplishing social justice is that one must begin by establishing solid foundational education. And I have been afforded these opportunities by collaborating through Everyone Wins. Activism is an action of vigorous campaigning to bring about political and social change. During last year's district competition, I was not able to bring home the award for Chapter of the Year, but because of the district's notoriety of the activism I had accomplished during Georgia's voting cycle, I was able to receive a special recognition award for A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, and a very nice check to accomplish the hard work. Uplifting of humanity, the uplifting of your fellow man. Each year, Sigma Eta Lambda's president bestows on one of its members a special recognition award for outstanding service and commitment. I was chosen as this year's recipient for being a brother's brother who exemplified leadership during a pandemic. It was stated that I was always putting service and the success of the chapter above self, that I possessed impeccable organizational and execution skills, and I always uplifted other brothers, no matter how heavy the burden appeared. And I know he ain't heavy, he's my brother. This year's district theme is embodying the Alpha spirit through social justice, activism, and uplifting of humanity. I have provided examples of the characteristics I possess, which align with that good old Alpha spirit, the greatness of love. As a true Alpha man, he does what he must, in spite of personal consequences for the collective, not fearing what ifs or any obstacles with unfavorable outcomes, danger, or negative pressures. He must always stand for the defense of the greater measure of humanity, morality, and be purpose-driven by his faith, knowing true purpose for the love of all mankind. Thank you, my brothers.
Brother Solomon, you have about 45 seconds to go. If you want us to share anything else with the brothers before we start our question and answer.
No, we can jump right into it.
All right, well, if that's the case, then brothers, you have 2 minutes to do a follow-up to Brother Solomon.
Brother Solomon.
Yes, Brother Han.
If you have to put it in one, why should we consider you to be our representative for the Brother of the Year?
Well, I hope during the short presentation that I've shown each of you that I have the skills, abilities, and the knowledge that it takes. I've only been a part of the wonderful organization for a couple of years, but I've been putting in the work. And I hope that that work that I have been putting in is enough to show you that I will continue to put in that work. Thank you, brother. Yeah.
Brother Solomon, this is Brother Sims. What's the most challenging part to reach out to a young person who may not know they are in need of mentoring, and what do you find the most gratifying?
Well, like I mentioned in the video, I've been collaborating with Everyone Wins, and the biggest challenge has been the parent and getting on schedule with the parent to make sure that the student is available. The students, especially the grade level that I work with, they're always willing to be mentored, but it's just trying to get the parents involved, because we know that in most of our communities that it's mostly single parent homes, and it's just kind of challenging to get the parent aboard in the scheduling down. That's been the biggest challenge for me.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Any other questions?
Let me hear from my college brothers. All right. What would you say, Brother Solomon, that would encourage the college brothers to grow to even a higher level? Sometimes with Alpha, you see greatness. Sometimes with Alpha, you see greatness, and it's a challenge. But what would you say to them to just encourage them to be the best that they can possibly be?
College brothers, I would definitely say, great question, by the way, Brother Miller. College brothers, I would definitely say, don't dive in trying to, in a sense, recreate the wheel. Every day, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, has been full of development. That's what I found for me and helped me most. It's the development. So no matter how big the challenge may have seemed or the accomplishments, like I mentioned, it's been 2.5 years for me, but it's about grabbing a mentor and letting them develop you into that greatness, because we have so many brothers that are very educated, PhDs, doctors, lawyers, and it's just about finding that person that matches with you and your personality type and just riding their coattails to greatness.
Thank you, Brother Solomon. That's time, Brother Miller.
All right, Brother Solomon, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right. Good evening, brothers of Georgia Districts. Thanks for having us here this evening. And we certainly appreciate you guys being flexible on Friday night as we walk through this Charles Wesley Award. I want to open up, of course, I am Brother James Ford, multiple roles in Alpha, but one of my most important roles is serving as chapter advisor. So in this year post-COVID for us, it's been quite a challenge where OML has been great in achieving programming. And together with Tau Zeta, one of our greatest responsibilities is ensuring that our college brothers are in fact mentally okay and successful. And so we feel like in this fraternal year, since our last district convention, that we have truly led together in brotherhood and service, incorporating the college brothers in everything that we do, and more importantly, executing the national programs of Alpha. Brother Simpson would tell us about post-COVID at Tau Zeta.
Yes, good evening, brothers. Thank you for the time allotted for this presentation today, and thank you for your consideration for this award. So campus life slowed down in person, but the brothers of the Tau Zeta chapter have risen to the challenge of ensuring continued engagement with the campus community by adapting to virtual options in areas of philanthropy, social events, and also academic and professional development. So we haven't let COVID too much slow us down, especially out of that first summer where everyone was adjusting to the new fashion of the world. But once we got to that adjustment, we've done everything that we can to both make sure that all students who want to continue being virtual are being met, that their needs are being met, and they are still part of the campus community. And for those who are braver and are more able to be on campus personally and in person, that we are also catering to those needs as well.
So every year we share this slide, and it's usually modified slightly for the year. But every year there's annual joint programming shared between the two chapters. At least one social event is required. You'll see a couple of pictures later on at our chapter retreat, coordinated by Brother OML President. In a normal world, we also sponsor Miss Black and Gold. The official second place of Miss Black and Gold is Miss Amakram Lambda. We support the program as well, with a scholarship from our HAC Foundation, which of course is administered through Omicron Mu Lambda. All voter awareness and national and local programs are administered in partnership with TZ and OML. We have a Christmas fellowship. We have a brotherhood mentoring project that we'll talk about a little bit. And of course, we fully support the attendees, guiding, mentoring for the Tau Zeta 20-year founding anniversary that'll take place next Friday. The foundation through OML also sponsors the Canon Dozier program, making our students on campus aware of the impact of drunk driving. We sponsor a financial awareness seminar through the Foundation for Tau Zeta. And of course, we have in our general operating account a dollar amount every year that's financially supporting TZ. TZ attends every chapter meetings. Now in COVID, we just started back with our face-to-face meetings, but on a typical face-to-face meetings, you'll always see a Tau Zeta brother. Danny, talk to us about chapter awards and goals.
Yeah, so the Brothers of the Tau Zeta chapter have always been a bunch to shoot for the stars and hopes of at the very least landing on the moon. So with that being said, our fraternity goals for the campus right now are pretty high. So we were looking to host the Fraternity Man of the Year from our chapter brother. We also want to achieve the status of Outstanding Advisor of the Year, Outstanding Emerging Leader, Outstanding Organization President, Outstanding Educational Program, KSU Chapter of the Year, and 100% compliance in the Office of Student Life. Our goals within Alpha, within the fraternity, outside of the school, the Charles Wesley Award, which we are striving for at this moment, Chapter of the Year, OML and TZ alike, attendance of 100% conventions and trainings, which we are maintaining currently, and to continue our 100% graduation rate, we will be continuing as we will be graduating one brother in the fall and 2 or 3 in the spring as well.
Start off with these national programs, Danny.
Yeah, so TZ Brothers, again, outside of COVID, we attend every OML meeting. This promotes the brotherhood and mentoring and successful joint planning. It's been really successful, especially in our past election year, as we have been helping Brother Raphael Warnock with his campaign here in the Marietta and Cobb County area as well. So a lot of that gets taken care of at those joint planning sessions. And pictured here, you can see us, some brothers, the current chapter at the 2021 Summer Cobb Alphas Retreat. So this was a major planning session which we attended and really got the ball rolling for our first semester back outside of COVID, as we have opened up a lot in Cobb County and especially in the school as well. So this is where most of our planning for this semester has come from with OML.
Love the fact that Brother President of TZ is currently on the front row right there in front of the screen. It just speaks to the openness of our brotherhood and the sharing between two chapters. COVID posed a challenge for us in executing our national programs, not only in OML, but TZ. Many of our programs in our here in Cobb or with federal facilities, group homes, youth prison ministries, schools, public schools. And so with a strong desire to continue to serve in the direction of Brother Fleming, we had to create new opportunities and find new opportunities to serve, which landed us with a joint partnership with the International Academy of Smyrna, that ironically is on South Cobb Drive. So in the middle of COVID, you see a little bit of both chapters there. We stepped into the school to provide funding, programming, and mentoring to a little bit of uncharted waters for us. We're very good. We have a great track record from 8 to 12, but we wanted to make impact with young men K through 6th grade. So in the middle of COVID, we adopted this program for go to high school, go to college, mentoring, and funding.
1 minute left, brothers.
Thanks, sir. We'll speed this up. We also expanded our national programs through Youth to Men. Again, with the schools being closed, there's a great opportunity to expand our market across Cobb County. So we joined together to set up Youth to Men, which is our 33 captive young men that we meet on the 2nd and 4th Sundays to administer our national programs. Go ahead, Danny.
So this is just a depiction from our most current Youth to Men event, which we use as our Project Alpha event to meet the national program's requirements. So this is basically an event where we really take our time out of our day to just present to young men kind of what it is to just be a good man, outside of what it means to be a good alpha, but what it means to be a good man and just how to carry yourselves throughout society and the different challenges that they may face as they continue throughout high school and beyond as well.
And while time is winding down, several slides here. Is that our time, brothers?
It is, but go ahead and finish your thought, bro.
Yeah, I want to give you this thought in that, the gentleman that's speaking on the line with me, Daniel Simpson, was the quietest, most reserved, running from leadership brother of his line a few years ago. We had one academic casualty where we had to kind of move officers around, and we worked with Brother Simpson and told him that if he ran for president, we would not allow him to fail. A year later, not only did he bring in the line through COVID, and was chapter president, he's also the MPHC president now on campus and is here before you this evening. Just the results of chapters working together. And brothers, we apologize, we're getting excited and missed some key slides, but we're certainly open for whatever the next direction is.
All right, thank you, brothers. There'll be 2 additional minutes from the committee to ask questions, and I'll just jump in. I see that you worked together as alumni college chapter to in this most recent election, and this is really pointed to Brother Simpson. Brother Simpson, working to get Brother Warnock in and to get Trump out. Did you feel that your fellow peers on campus really feel the need and urge and the level of urgency in this vote and got involved this year? Did you feel that?
Yes, sir, I did. And I think that it was even more fulfilling to understand that they really saw the need in local elections as well as a result of such a polarizing national election. So that same energy and fire that they have from these national elections also transferred into the local elections, which in our community is even more powerful than picking the next president or whatever it may be. So just being able to see that the local elections have becoming more in the forefront of college kids' minds, and that we've really gotten out of the mindset that we're just here to pick presidents or that our vote doesn't even matter, or that saying we must have to take marches and other social action to really get a lot of these things done. But I'm glad that people are really starting to see that there's power in this change in legislation, this change in leadership within our local community first, so that we can have better representation, so that we can pick better national leadership and whatnot.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, brothers?
This is Brother McCray. Brothers, y'all thrown a lot of great events together, but I want to figure out which one was the most difficult for y'all to come together and have a great outcome for.
I would say the runoff elections, because what we discovered was, the Tau Zeta brothers are the young street warriors. And while many of us older brothers, we have the finances, we were paying for shirts to get printed. A lot of the chapter wasn't just ready to take the fight to the streets just yet, but Tau Zeta was. All right, we appreciate you, brothers.
Yeah.
You,
y'all did a great, excellent job. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, brothers. First of all, I want to introduce you guys to myself. I'm Brother James Hammond. I'm a spring of 2008 initiate of the Eta Lambda chapter. I've actually been a part of Alpha pretty much all of my life, the way that I see it. My father was actually an initiate of the Alpha Phi chapter at Clark Atlanta University, and my mother, she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority through the Alpha Pi chapter at Clark Atlanta University as well. Since day one, I've been a leader in the Eta Lambda chapter. And when I say I've been a leader in the Eta Lambda chapter since day one, I would like to say so because as soon as I came into the chapter, I hit the ground running. And I honestly can say that the work I've done, it speaks for itself. The first thing I did as soon as I came into the chapter is I looked and saw the things that the chapter needed a little bit of assistance with, and one of those things was actually our online presence and our presence just telling our story. So I started Eta Lambda TV, and I also assisted with the chapter awards for quite some time. As you see pictured in these photos is me doing a little bit of the work that I'm known to do in the community. I'm known to be active working in the community, doing political work, actually as a videographer, as well as things with my university, Georgia Southern University, pictured down at the bottom, where I received the 40 Under 40 award back in 2016. Now, when I know that the Augustus Witherspoon Award focuses on all aspects of Alpha in your impact. So the things I can say that I've done that made a national impact was the 91st General Convention. I was the General President's videographer. Also, I was the lead videographer for the Martin Luther King statue unveiling in Washington, D.C. And also, most recently, I've actually worked with the 2020 Election Protection Committee with Brother Cecil Howard, and I had a lot of work that I did in the state of Georgia regarding that. In the district locally, I was the chapter historian for Ada Lambda from 2016 to 2017, where I did a lot of back searching to actually put together a good bit of our history. I was a board member at large, where I was a voice for the brothers for a few years. I was also, and most recently, I'm the public policy chair for Ada Lambda, and I'm also a committee member for Alpha Day at the Capitol for the Georgia district since 2017. When you want to talk about my other community impact and recognitions, most recently I received the 2020 award from the Junior League of Atlanta, which is their Friend of the League award. That's the highest honor they can give to any non-member. You know, I'm not qualified to be a member of the Junior League because I'm a man and it's an all-women organization, but they've been a long-time client and a great friend of mine for the longest. I'm a 2020 Leadership Buckhead alumni, 2019 Outstanding Atlanta alumni, 2018 Lead Atlanta alumni. You have all of these things in the paper that I submitted recently. So let's actually talk about the work that I've done. These are still impact and recognitions and things that I've done. Most notably with Work Done Charities, I raised in 2018, I raised $40,000, which actually provided housing for a family here in Atlanta, as well as $10,000 in scholarship dollars for students to go to college that year. Let's see, my work through my firm, Icon Filmworks, I'm a featured speaker on entrepreneurship. We've partnered with 3 municipal governments in the last year going through COVID to improve government transparency through the streaming of their council meetings. And right now we're working with the Liberian Consulate in Liberia virtually right now to actually produce some summits for them to educate their community on COVID-19 access. COVID-19 resources and access to other information, as well as with the Liberian Consulate to discuss the Human Trafficking Summit this upcoming week. Examples of leadership, when you get to talking about the work that I've done in the past year, I saw
1 minute, Brother Hammond.
Okay, I saw the issues that we had with the elections, and that's something I really dove into. I recruited 6 brothers from the Ada Lambda chapter to initially want to start an Ada Lambda polling precinct, and what actually ended up happening was these brothers actually all became managers, and we're all managers at polling precincts throughout the area, throughout the community. I have links to our actual news articles where I was covered, and by national news, by local news, and a couple of other places. Through Outstanding Atlanta, there's featured this Jovita Moore. She's a local Atlanta news reporter who recently passed on yesterday. I was the president of Outstanding Atlanta. It's an organization that we actually worked with to help us through the civil unrest. Brothers, this is just a snapshot of the work that I've done. I hope I can answer more questions with what you have for me. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, that was a rush.
No. You're good, brother.
When you've done a lot of work, it's hard to break it down.
We all face that. Any questions from the committee? You have 2 minutes.
Good morning, Brother Hammond. This is Brother Taylor.
Good morning, Brother Taylor. I'm just moving you over to my main screen so I can see you. Yes, sir.
That's fine. Hope you can. What has been your biggest accomplishment of all the things that you've outlisted and you've done in the last 5 years?
The biggest accomplishments I can honestly say, I would definitely say one of them would definitely be the work that we've done through elections, because I look at that as actually helping get Brother Warnock and John Ossoff elected, and also getting the gentleman Mr. Trump out of the White House. So I could say that work that I did with the elections, with the Fulton County Board of Elections, the work that I did there to actually set up a new polling precinct and manage 17 people there. And then I'd also say the work that I've done through my university at Georgia Southern University, where I received the 40 Under 40 award back in 2016. Those are the big accomplishments that I'd say I had. A couple of my friends say that the work that I did with Work Done Charities, where we in the time that I worked with Work Done Charities, we gave we actually assisted I think it was 20 families in 3 years with getting housing.
Brother McCray here.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the mentorship. What's the most impactful thing you've been able to do for the youth in the community?
So honestly, I can say that I actually helped a young man go from making $10,000 a year being poor and on the streets to now having a career working with ESPN in the last year, working as a videographer. If you want to talk about making an impact, there was a young man that I met at an event a few years ago, and he said, "Hey, brother, I'm just looking for a shot." I brought him under my wing to teach him some videography. He worked with me hand in hand, and now he's actually going to be at the Georgia-Florida game this weekend as a videographer. And he's been traveling for the last 2 years as a videographer for ESPN. And he also covered the Little League World Series this year. So I can say that's an impact that I can say I've made, and I've done that with 2 other people in the past year.
That's good. Thank you, Brother Hammond. Where'd you say your father plays? What chapter did he play in?
He plays at the Alpha Phi chapter at Clark Atlanta University, Brother Sims.
Oh, that's what I thought. I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody.
There you go.
I'm sorry we only had such a brief time. I wish I had a full hour to talk about things. But I know you guys have a tight schedule.
That's time, Brother Miller.
Well, good morning, brothers. My name is Curtis Walker. I am a member of the Theta Beta chapter in Columbus, Georgia at Columbus State, and here's my presentation. So within Theta Beta, I have been elected as the chapter historian and the director of educational activities. And throughout the presentation, you'll see the work I've done in those leadership positions. I'm also a fall 2020 initiate. So a week after I crossed, I was put into the Hobart Jarrett debate competition, in which I received first place within the district, along with my partner, Brother Stevan Lester on the far left. I was also honored to be the featured story for Watch the Yard, which is a popular Greek life social media and news page. They did a highlight on me as the SGA president for Columbus State. I was also awarded the new member of the year award, which is a Greek life award at CSU for all fraternities and sororities. Some of the work that I've done is just a skim of the top of what I've done as within my leadership positions, but led voter registration drives for Muscogee County, along with our Delta Iota Lambda chapter for all Muscogee County schools, informing them of the importance of voting, but also how to go about voting. We also did Pi and Alpha, which was a food drive we host each year with Residence Life, and they take canned food as currency for Pi and Alpha. Also worked with the Black Lives Matter March, specifically focusing on voting, how all votes should count and should matter, excuse me. And also Salvation Army Thanks City Food Drive, another partnership with the grad chapter. Outside of Alpha, I'm very involved with my campus and my community. Again, I serve as the SGA president. This is actually my second term as SGA president. And so during my 2 administrations, we've worked on issues that go from national all the way down to our campus. So here you can see this is a week that we hosted focusing on advocacy, allyship, and activism during the Black Lives Matter movement, and really tackling issues that students felt very passionate about. We also addressed the issue of police brutality even within the Columbus, Georgia area, creating the first ever advisory council with the Columbus Police Department, as well as working with University Police Department as well on different initiatives. I will also clarify that the advisory council was not only approved by our school, but also by the chief of police and the mayor's council. We've also worked with mental health a lot. So this year we were able to be sponsored by Coca-Cola and hosting a Fresh Check Day, where we were able to help students really get access to mental health and resources. And we also work to expand mental health resources on our campus. I'm also a pandemic president, so I have to at least address the pandemic. Before school returned, we did make sure we hosted different forums, allowing students to ask questions to the right people to get a better understanding of how the school is going to make sure our students are safe when they return back to campus. And of course, whenever there was a problem that arose, we did have COVID-19 protests on both sides of the fence, but it was always great to be able to advocate on behalf of my student body and really get our message across to USG. And also another highlight I would say is we're really focusing on vaccinations, really encouraging students and giving them the opportunity to know that they are safe. We'll really encourage them to get their vaccines and also work with different committees on vaccination incentives. These are a few other pictures of things that I've done within my role as SGA president within the community. So this is our sustainability mural, working on—
1 minute, Brother Walker.
Thank you. Voter registration drives, things of that nature. I'm always an advocate for student leadership. So this is myself along with Ms. CSU as we speak on that. Another thing I'm really proud of is Dr. John W. Townsend. He's a brother of Alpha. He's also the very first African-American to attend CSU and was also a member of SGA. And so we were able to sign his proclamation in honor of him. And this is also me speaking with the Georgia delegation at CSU. Oh, this is another picture of me working with Residence Life and other students, and then also working with different state and local leaders. I will also say that I currently serve as a fellow for Senator Warnock for his reelection campaign, and will be going into a full-time job with him at the end of the spring semester. And these are a few of the awards I've received as well during my time at CSU. And with that, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Brother Walker. I think I'll start the question, and there'll be 2 minutes from the committee, and I'll definitely start. Talk to me about how you balance your responsibilities to the overall student community as student government president with your responsibilities in Alpha Phi Alpha.
Honestly, they really tie in really closely. I think my values that I've had since Alpha and my values as SGA president are the same. And so being able to use both positions equally to really make change and really step into help my community is honestly not too much of a struggle to handle. Plus, I always have the support of my brothers and the support of my cabinet and my staff. So it's really not too hard to balance the two.
Any other questions, brother?
Brother Walker, tell us about the what is it, the fellows you have with Senator Warnock? What was that again?
Yes, sir. So I was recently promoted from intern to a fellow. So within that, my responsibilities just kind of oversee all interns. I mostly work within his financial sector. So my job consists of looking for donors, doing not speech writing fully, but I do work on his memos, his letters to constituents, things of that nature. I won't get into too much detail, but that's a little bit of a summary of what I could go into.
Brother Walker, I was SGA president when the Rodney King situation went down. So some of the same issues that we're talking about with justice and activism was on my plate. Can you talk about how you kind of handled that in the wakes of George Floyd?
Absolutely. So one thing I love about CSU is that we have a lot of students who definitely are activists, and they want to see our university do something in response to it. Knowing that our university, of course, it's a university, so they weren't going to do much in terms of leading a protest, but we wanted to make sure students knew how they could take action, but do so safely. Of course, on one end, you saw activism, but you also saw the aftermath of it as well. And some students also asked the question of how can I actually do it or like just be an ally to this movement. And so we saw that over the summer. And so my cabinet and I decided to create a week where we could actually focus on each day addressing a different issue. And so our student body really responded well to it, starting out with a vigil to honor lives that were lost during that year. And then also moving forward in terms of addressing different social issues and how students currently can take change within their own hands.
All right, that's time. That's time, Brother Miller. Thank you, Brother Walker.
All right, Brother Walker.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so my name is Bryson Moore. I'm a Spring 21 initiate of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated through the ZMU chapter, and I am now the current chapter president. So throughout from last year to this year, ZMU has been working with the COVID guidelines as well, just to try to create as much as in-campus interaction as possible. So all of our events have been through in-person interaction, making sure we follow those different COVID guidelines, as well as we were supposed to have our Miss Black and Gold in the spring when Corona first hit in 2020, but we end up having it in person in fall 2020. That was a very successful event. We follow all COVID guidelines. Each contestant was able to have 10 guests of their choosing to attend the event, and we were able to crown our Miss Black and Gold, as well as having 2 successful Alpha Weeks with in-person interaction. Only thing that wasn't interaction was the church service. We had to do that through virtual Zoom. So the first Alpha Week had to do with, it was called Back to the Future. That was our theme, different events based off of that. We had an event called Back to the Basics, Back to the Polls. We had a successful watch party where students were able to engage in food and different drinks as while we were watching the different debate. One of the biggest things that we wanted to focus on the last year, just with all the complications of COVID-19, was making sure that people were still able to get that interaction. Georgia State University, most of our students were online. So we had a great turnout in all of our events, just out of that simple fact, everyone was fiending and wanting to, actually be able to interact with their peers and in person. We accomplished our go to high school, go to college, go to high school, go to college programs. We volunteered, did different volunteer things at Booker T. Washington. As far as Project Alpha, we held 2 separate events to talk about different sexual health awareness during the pandemic as well.
Chapter awards.
I'm sorry?
Chapter awards from the university.
Chapter awards for the university.
Yeah.
So we were the 2020 chapter college or Dean's Cup Award. So essentially we had the highest GPA for the year of 2020.
Which was?
Let me pull that up.
While you doing that, how many brothers in the chapter right now, Brother Moore?
Currently, there are 5 brothers. We are all Spring 21. So that's been a different, feel for all of us, just trying to, get acclimated in the House of Alpha, but also making sure that we are staying on top and holding the name.
The chapter is very active in voter registration. Have you done anything this year for the election?
Right now we had just held on Monday, October 25th. We partner with different organizations at Georgia State. We held a mayor forum. So different candidates came and, the students were able to engage and ask them questions. That was a very successful event. It gave us an opportunity to actually, hear from the candidates rather in person and ask them anything we felt needed on our spirit, as well as, with us being in the middle of Atlanta. So that was actually great. 3 of our brothers attended that, as well as we assisted and helped with that as well.
Got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left, Brother Moore. Any other information you want the brothers to know about? Any national programs?
Yes. So as far as national programs, Project Alpha, Go High School, Keeper, of Hopeless People is a Hopeless People. We also helped with last year's, we partnered with Ada Lambda and all the other Atlanta chapters to help with the 2020 election. And then I know this past October, I went down to Philadelphia. I created, I'm a part of an organization called Lifting Our Voices, and I hosted a sandwich run, which essentially is initiative we have throughout the AUC in Georgia State where we feed the homeless. So I partner with 2 Alpha chapters that would be the Psi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, as well as Zeta Psi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, where I partner with them. I found us a location, different partnerships, and made sure we had the money necessary, and we created 548 meals and distributed them out in Philadelphia. We all did travel down there. I traveled down there. It was great interaction. That was the first time I was able. I'll stop.
Finish your thought. Finish your thought, brother. More. That's
that was
5 minutes that you allotted.
It was
You
the
want to ask questions.
Okay.
So finish your
thank you.
thought.
That was the first opportunity for me to, travel outside of Georgia and be able to see how strong the brotherhood was. All it was essentially was me hitting, going on the different Instagram pages, figuring out who to contact and creating that connection. So that was honestly great, and just initiative on myself. So that definitely put things in perspective for me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brother Moore, for letting us know that. Brothers, there's 2 minutes for questions. Do you have any other questions for Brother Moore and the brothers at Zeta Mu?
I do, if I may. But Brother Thompson, please go first if you had one. I saw your screen light up.
Yeah, just a quick question real fast. Brother Moore, you said how many is the chapter? You said 5?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. You got to do a lot for just 5. That's amazing.
Yes.
So, Brother Moore, if I may, did you guys participate in March of Dimes, Boy Scouts, or Canon Dozier?
No, we did not.
Okay.
All right, brother. Double check that with Brother Kirk Brown. Okay, Brother Moore.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's time, bro, Miller.
Okay,
Whenever.
yeah, double check that with him. And also, Brother Moore, I'm gonna need you to get me your GPA for your chapter, all right?
Yes, sir.
As well as the highest college, brother.
Good evening, brothers. My name is Brother Quindarius Piles, a senior criminal justice major from Talladega, Alabama. I'm here to present for the Outstanding College Chapter of the Year on behalf of the Alpha Phi chapter. This year's theme is By Any Means Necessary. Next slide. This year, the Alpha Phi chapter went from 11 brothers to 3 brothers in the chapter, leaving me, Joel, Brother Fenord, and Brother Lancaster in the chapter. So we have created some initiative with our Hands In for Haiti initiative, which is our initiative to help the families that are impacted by the hurricanes that happened in Haiti. Being that Brother Fenord is a Haitian, is from Haiti, his family is from Haiti. We decided to create this initiative. So we were able to donate, we set up a drive. Over the last month, the Hands In for Haiti initiative, the brothers of the Alpha Phi chapter have been exercising, providing service advocacy to our global community after days of accepting donations. The brothers were able to gather hundreds of canned food items, hundreds of toiletries, including toothbrushes, soap, deodorant, and toothpaste, and feminine products. And we was able to join in with the Haiti consulate and send those items to Haiti. Next slide. We raised over $500, over 575 canned goods, 275 pieces of clothes, and 140 toiletry items with the help of the students, with the student body of COU. We were all hands in for Haiti. This initiative is Man Talk. This is our Project Alpha and our mentorship initiative that we have on campus. So this initiative, with the male involvement being so low on Clark campus, we decided to have a conversation with the men on campus. And this conversation just gave people a safe place where they can express how they feel and how they're matriculating through college. The brothers were able to engage the male population of CAU in empowerment on safe sex, chivalry, campus involvement, mental health, and more. our Alpha Week, 2K21. We are in the AUC, we're just now coming off a complete virtual learning environment. So we were able to produce the first all virtual Alpha Week. When we had a spiritual session, we was able to engage with the student body by having a sports center. We also did a event called AlphaZon, which is mimicking Amazon, and we highlighted small businesses. We also did a first ever stroll like an alpha virtually. And we also did Brothers Keeper. And with Brothers Keeper, being that we were virtual, we were able to grab, get the addresses from of the elder brothers, and we'll put together proper PPE boxes to send out to those brothers with COVID essentials, as in hand sanitizer, face mask, everything that's needed, along with a t-shirt. Next slide.
You got one.
Also, as well,
1 minute, Brother Piles.
Also with voter registration, we were able to, since we've been back on campus, we're able to help over 58 people be registered to vote. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
All right.
What is your chapter GPA, Brother Powers?
Right now, the chapter GPA is a 3.6.
And what is your brother with the highest GPA in that?
3.6.
Okay.
Taylor Lancaster, Brother Lancaster.
Okay. Okay. Question, judges?
Yeah, I have several, if I may.
Go ahead, Brother Vaughn.
So,
2 minutes.
brother, I heard you mention Voteless People's Hopeless People, Project Alpha, Brothers Keeper. Can you share with us what, if anything, you all did around go to high school, go to college, March of Dimes, and Boy Scouts?
So with the March of Dimes, we're normally with St. Jude, being that everything was kind of pushed back with Clark Atlanta this year, we're normally partnering with St. Jude to donate to March of Dimes. However, that is still scheduled for the spring, where we do our annual donation to March of Dimes. As the Alpha Phi chapter do the annual donation to March of Dimes, which is scheduled for the spring. If we go to high school, go to college, we also still working closely with our grad chapter with Booker T. Washington High School. So just mentoring the kids over there. Also,
I'm
sorry.
Did you do anything, or, because it wasn't in your presentation as far as I saw it. So during the last 12 months, did you do anything, or you plan to do something in the future?
We plan to do something in the future.
Okay.
Other questions, brother?
And I'm sorry, brother, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That wasn't polite. My mistake.
All right, Brother Powers, go ahead and finish using your time.
Along with the brothers we have 15 new initiatives to the Alpha Phi chapter as of last week. So we'll be able to complete more events. 3 brothers on campus. We have been hard charging, still holding high the name on Clark Atlanta University's campus. And we plan to continue to hold high the name with more brothers. Thank you.
All right, my brother. We thank you so much for your presentation.